Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today I want to discuss the key features of a Malan settlement and its impact in the Jamindar, East India Company or the states or the farmers or the subsets. And I want to know how much effective on three classes of the peoples of this Indian subcontinent. Firstly, we have to know the key features of a permanent settlement or some important features of permanent settlement. A lot of features among them. Firstly, according to the permanent settlement, the zamindar become the owner of the land. They become the real owner of the land. Secondly, is the owner of the Jamindar was recognized by this law, but the owner or rights of property to the subject was completely denied. The subject was also totally dependent on the wish or will of the Jamindar, and Jamindar can kick out at any time, at any kind of farmers or Jamindar. If farmer or Jamindar fail to give revenue to the Jamindar in due time and due portions or proper portions or any portions, it will be kicked out. It will be kicked out by the Jamindar to the farmers. As a result, we see the majority of the farmers, but on the other hand, the amount of the revenue, 10th 11 portions of the revenue was for the company or East India Company, and only 1/10 portions of the revenue was for the Jamindar. But the farmer are not given proper amount of revenue or money or other facilities. As a result, those who are doing relentlessly to produce crops or any kind of crops or any kind of product in the lands, they are being defied by the Jamindar, by the middlemen, and as well as by the East India Company or the governments. The amount to be paid by the Jamindar was fixed. As a result, Jamindar were relentless to collect this kind of amount that is needed to submit to the British government or East India Company to patent their Jamindari within the sunset law, within the times. As a result, we have noticed that there is a conflict, or there is a problems between two classes, two hostile classes. Firstly was Jamindar, and secondly subject of farmers. Though they are the peoples of this Indian subcontinent, but Indian peoples, two groups of Indian peoples are engaged in conflicting, taking their right portions. But Jamindar was in a superior positions, as British government give them some sorts of arms, some sorts of forces, some sorts of legal facilities. As a result, they exploited to the farmers, they used the farmers as a tools to produce products. And if the farmers are not eager to express their elegancy or obedience towards the zamindars, the farmers was tortured, executed, and drive out from his home estate. As a result, the farmers have no right in this permanent settlement. The fixed amount and others money was given by the farmers to the Jamindar, and Jamindar sent it to the British East India Company or British government. As a result, those who are involved in directly productions related functions, they are not given more priority, they are not given more importance, they are not given more facilities. So in some cases, all Jamindar were not same, but in few cases Some Zamindar was deported and was subject of oriented. As a result, some portions of Indian subcontinent we have noticed that there is a development, and this development also accelerated the development of the societal peoples. They make some sorts of roads, highway, bridges, and other educational institutions. The reforms the existing societal values that are not positive for the societal peoples. As a result, we have noticed that the Indian peoples are being benefited by these reformations in some cases, but on the other hand, financially, peoples of Indian subcontinent were exploited, and though the British government tried to do something better for the Indian peoples, but it was not possible, as the British government was not directly linked to the peoples of Indian subcontinent. They use Jamindar or some sorts of middlemen. As a result, they are not able what the Indian peoples are expressing, so what the Indian peoples are wanting from the British government. They use as a place of raw materials. They use as a place of exploitations. They exploited the peoples of East India Company, peoples of Indian subcontinent, and the East India Company's personnel staffs became more benefited by this exploitations or by this permanent settlement. British government has taken all sorts of facility by this permanent settlement, but on the other hand, the peoples of this Indian subcontinent, those who are being differed for thousands years, they didn't get any kind of facilities by this British government. British government so-called in the name of rule, in the name of making the Indian people civilized, they imposed some sorts of burden on the peoples of Indian subcontinent. These rules, regulations, or arts or techniques is not familiar to the peoples of this Indian subcontinent. As a result, they get allegiance or they get obedience only few peoples by actions of huge Indian subcontinent peoples. So the permanent settlement was not in favor of the subjects. It completely denies the rights of the peoples, those who are living in this Indian subcontinent. It gives some sorts of rights to the Zamindars, but Zamindar was not the real owner of the land. If Zamindar failed to pay the revenue before the sunsets of due time, they were driven away from the Jamindari. The whole wealth was confiscated by the British government. As a result, subject was tortured by the Zamindars, and Zamindar was tortured by the East India Company staffs or officers. And East India Company or the British government making our relations between the native peoples of Jamindar and subject or the farmers a hostile relations. And as the Jamindar was not the permanent owner of the land, so if somebody maintain a good relations with the East India Company, or if someone gives some sorts of bribe to the East India Company through back channel or backdoor channel, they are given the Jamindari. As a result, they didn't notice that the individual is either good or bad. They only give more priority to the revenue. Who will be able to give more revenue? They have given this importance. They didn't give importance to the behavior functions and what is being done by the Jamindar. That was not important to them. As a result, we have noticed that this kinds of permanent settlement didn't bring much benefits for the farmers, rather it brings more disadvantages and most distressful measures for the peoples of Indian subcontinent. So this permanent settlement has a totally negative or brings a totally negative impact to the peoples of Indian subcontinent. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching.